Hi guys. So this video is a pre-watch guide to this film I'm asking you to watch come Sunday. So this is, I think the only place you can get it is on Netflix. It's a Netflix original film, so I think it's just there, which means you'll need either to have or have access to a Netflix subscription. If that's a problem for some reason, let me know. Um, okay, this movie is based on a true story. It is fiction. It is narrative. It's got actors in it. It's not a documentary. But right, it's based on a real person. This developed out of a radio program slash podcast, an episode of This American Life. The This American Life people produced this movie. It's about a preacher in an evangelical preacher in the 1990s, essentially having I guess you could call it a crisis of faith about a certain question in the theology that he'd been preaching. Now, okay, this sure sounds like, I think I just described this sounds like a movie about religion or theology or something like that, but I really think this is a movie about epistemology. This is much more about how you deal with uncertainty about a question that super matters to you, and how you deal with disagreement within your community about the right answer to a super important question. Okay, so basically the question in question, the thing that our main character becomes unsure about is something like what's required in order to be saved, in order to avoid hell in the afterlife. And so what matters for us is just that he comes to a different answer from the official answer in the denomination he belongs to. Now, I don't want to trivialize that theological question, but I do want to encourage you in this class to try to put it aside. I know for some of you, this is you're going to be as concerned with this question as the characters in the film, and you're going to be concerned that people get the wrong answer because it's, I mean, if you share the outlook of the religious outlook of these people, this is like the most important question that you can have, right? Avoiding spending eternity in hell is more important than anything else, clearly. But the question that I want us to address, not the characters in the film, they're addressing one question. The question I want us to address in this class is, how do you deal with being uncertain about something very important? So the things that I want you to look for as you're watching this are, well, I want you to be on the lookout for times when people are directly dealing with uncertainty or with disagreement. How do they deal with it, right? If you're not sure what to believe about something, what do you do? I mean, if you're not sure what to believe about something that isn't very important, you move on, right? If I'm idly wondering what was John Wayne's birthday, I don't care. That doesn't matter. I can sleep just fine. But if I'm not sure about the right answer to am I going to go to hell if I keep living my life this way, you got to do something about it. Okay. Now, that's one thing, uncertainty, right? When you're just not sure what the answer to something is, what do you see people doing here? How do they decide what to believe, right? They can't just put the decision off. They have to figure out what the right answer is. So I want you to look for how they decide what to believe, what they take as a source of knowledge, right? Because they want to not just believe the correct answer, not just think the right thing, not just be right, but know that they're right. Right, with super important things. It feels, at least to a lot of us, I suspect this is a natural thought for you too. It feels like it's not enough just to sort of guess right. You want to know that you've got the right answer. So in this scenario, in this story, what do the various characters treat as ways of knowing? How do you tell whether you know something or don't know it? In particular, look to see, so there are definitely people you will see very clearly. There are people who disagree about what the right answer to this question of what do you need to do in order to be saved. There are people who disagree about what the right answer to that question is. Do they also disagree about how you can find the right answer? Do they also disagree about what it takes to know that your answer is correct? What do they treat as a source of knowledge? Um, a natural answer, I mean, you will see people saying, go consult the Bible. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm starting to answer the question. I want you to look and see. Do you think that both sides agree on what is an authoritative source of knowledge? They definitely, both sides definitely take the Bible, take consulting scripture as a way to come to know this kind of stuff. Is that the only way? Do they disagree about how to use scripture? Are there other things that they think you can appeal to? Look for that kind of stuff. Try and write down when people actually talk about these things. Okay, we will talk more about all that stuff after you've watched the film in tutorial. I just want to wrap up now just by setting a couple of guidelines, a couple of boundaries, things we're not going to talk about. Okay, I said earlier the emphasis here, this looks like a movie about religion or about theology, but for our purposes, it's a movie about epistemology. It's about dealing with uncertainty. I want to keep the discussion on that topic. So here are some things that we're not going to talk about that I really want us to put aside. We are not going to talk about whether which side of the debate is right. That's not our question. Our question is not about who's got the correct answer to the theological question. I don't mean to say that that's not an important question. For some of you, it certainly is. If you feel like you need to talk about it, I'd invite you to contact me separately and we can talk about it. But that's not what this class is going to be about. Bear in mind, you may have classmates who disagree with you about what the right answer is, and they didn't sign up to have to defend their theological beliefs, their religious beliefs in this class. They signed up to learn about the theory of knowledge. So that's what we're going to stick with. Similarly, I don't want us to discuss whether it's just irrational to be religious. I know some of you are, I'm sure, of that persuasion. Some of you maybe feel like it's very important to talk about what's wrong with being religious. I want you also to bear in mind, you have classmates for whom their religion is very important and they didn't sign up to have to defend that here. So I don't want us to talk about that. Again, if you feel like you need to talk about it, make an appointment. I will talk to you about it separately. Finally, one of the questions that is discussed that the two sides in this debate disagree about is, so the denomination the main character Carlton Pearson belongs to and breaks from, one of the things that they believe is that homosexual acts are sinful and people who do them go to hell. We are not going to debate whether gay people are going to hell. Again, you have gay classmates who did not sign up to defend whether they're going to hell for being who they are. That's not up for debate. So we're just not going to talk about it. Sorry, I don't mean to say that as if... I don't want those of you who are religious, who are Christian, to think that I already think that you are anti-gay. But I just want to make sure that we all know that's not up for debate so that everybody can feel comfortable they're not going to have to defend who they are. What we're interested in here is how you deal with uncertainty, what it means to know something, why it matters, whether you know something or not. Okay. That's it. I'll talk to you soon.